No, it's not your mom.
Well, at the time, we already had Ronald Reagan as president, and I sort of just looked at the landscape and, let my imagination run wild, and I never thought it would come true to such a crazy degree. A lot of it, though, was me trying to adapt a book. And if you know the book, when Stephen King wrote the book, which was, I guess, maybe the early 1980s, he didn't really have an understanding of what television was like. Should I start? Can I keep going, or should?
I'll just. Pues básicamente que insiste que él no tiene la culpa de Trump, que cuando él empezó a escribir la película era la era de Reagan. Él entendía por haber trabajado en la televisión cómo iba aquello, pero también hay que tener en cuenta que aunque él dejó que su imaginación se volviera un poco loca, estaba adaptando un libro de Stephen King que escribió a principios de los 80 y Stephen King no manejaba tanto el tema de la televisión.
So in the book, there's a worldwide depression, and Ben Richards cannot get work. There's no jobs. When you cast Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's hard to believe that he can't get a job. He could sell pianos from door to door, so there had so the idea that he was so desperate for work, he went on the game show, doesn't work with Schwarzenegger. So I'm thinking, how do I get him on the game show? And the inspiration was the Roman arena, where the condemned people would go into the gladiatorial ring. So that was just trying to make the book fit Arnold. In a similar basis, in the book, the game show, Stephen King's idea of a game show was very archaic. He had a girl come out with a box, and you picked an envelope, and that told you how much head start you had on the people chasing you. And the game shows already at that time, when I wrote the movie, had bells and whistles and waka waka waka, so now the game show had to be more crazy. In the book, he sort of really didn't understand broadcasting. He's a brilliant writer, but this is not his wheelhouse. The show was 1 month. Every night for 2 hours, 1 month. And you had to run across the country, and the people who killed you were anonymous. So you'd walk down the street, and a shopkeeper would kill you. The shopkeeper was one of the, but you didn't know. But in the movie, you want the audience to fall in hate with the killers. So now I had to personify. So when I'm looking for a way, you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you want to have people to fight him, my mind turned to wrestling. So now they became these bigger-than-life characters like luchadors. So it was almost like an evolution in my mind. And then finally the synergy of politics and entertainment had to come, because in the book, the politics of this dystopia is in the text. It's not in the dialogue. He builds a world, Stephen King, but it's not in action. In other words, if you would photograph that book, the world looked just like the world of 1980. There's no science fiction at all. It's just the society has changed. So now this has to be put on its feet. So it's like one step at a time, this evolved. And then I did some guesswork. I sort of guessed at the internet. I could see that at that time I was in bulletin boards, so I could see the prediction of where it was going. The idea that there would be fake news, I had to do that. Once you have Arnold Schwarzenegger as the hero and he's a condemned criminal, he can't really be a criminal. He has to be framed. So that led to the false newscasts, and then once you have one false newscast, they all have to be false. So like step by step, I walked into a psychic prediction, but it wasn't a gestalt. It wasn't a light bulb went over my head. It was bit by bit. I sort of accidentally constructed an unfortunately accurate view of now. Plus, the movie takes place in 2019, in this year. When I get back to the States, there's going to be a 2-page article in the New York Post about Blade Runner and The Running Man, how they are now, this is the year of both of them. So